Yes, so excited. I see Gemma, Maureen, Monique, Michaela. Oh my gosh, from all over the world. Dublin, Mexico, Florida, and London in Colorado. Oh, wow. That's amazing. There's Sally. Hi, Sally. Can you guys see and hear us? Just let us know that you can see and hear us. So we know that we're working. Okay, now why is this not? One of the streaming is telling me it's not working, but we'll try to fix that. Okay, perfect. Maureen says yes. Okay, great. We just want to make sure that we're not, you guys are able to see us. Vanessa, hi, Vanessa. Linda from the UK. Yes, loud and clear. Excellent, excellent. I am so excited today because I have my dear friend Stacey Martino here with us. And oh boy, I'll tell you something. When she gave me her book, right when it was coming out, I started reading and I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I've been like, I needed. I think we all need, because we're all triggered, right? How many people here get triggered? Because yes, but you are on repeat. Anybody else hearing a repeat? Because it may be, do you have this open? Because we are streaming on social media. So like if you have it open somewhere else, but let me know. Does anybody else hear us repeating? Okay, yes, hear you loud and clear. No repeat. Okay, so it may be that you have it open somewhere else. But yeah, so I started reading the book. I was like, oh my gosh, we get triggered by everybody in business, our teams, right? How many people here have been triggered by a team member, someone in business, your family,
potential client, a client.
Clients. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Clients. Yes. Oh my gosh. Right. Yes. Triggered. Maureen says yes. Clients. My goodness. Customers, clients, husbands, boyfriends, spouses, girlfriends. It's amazing how much we can be triggered. So Stacey has the most amazing solution I've ever seen to this. And I'm going to turn it over to Stacey, author of the Missing Piece book, which is amazing. Maureen says family, clients, friends, boyfriend. Yes. Triggers everywhere. It's like a landmine of stepping on grenades, right? Every day.
Yes,
trigger. We get triggered even online, right? How many people you see a post online and it just triggers you, and everybody starts fighting online, right?
So true.
Yeah, so I'm going to turn it over to you, Stacey, and you can tell them a little bit more. We're going to talk about, and let me know when you want me to bring up your presentation here.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. You can bring up those slides and we'll start sharing. Awesome. I'm excited. And yeah, kind of like what Christina was just saying, like, why are we even talking about this today? Because if we're growing our business, but our relationships are not where we want them to be, or they're bringing stress and upsets into our life, can we even really be happy and enjoy the work that we're doing? If we want to grow our business, but our partner isn't supportive, we're making ourselves miserable unnecessarily. And then if we work so hard to create our business, but our team, our clients, right? Like the people that we interact with are bringing drama and upsets and stress. Like we're working so hard and yet we're not happy when we're there. If we're doing this to create a better life for our kids, but they're still yelling, nagging, policing, secret silences, are we really giving them the life we dream for them? If you're an entrepreneur, you're going to run into the triggers and the drama and the upsets with clients, potential clients, and all different kinds of folks that you run into. And every entrepreneur is in this situation. This is not like for some people. If you're really an entrepreneur and growing a business, you always you have that potential client where you're like, I know I can do some good here. Like I really can do some great for this client. But when I see them on my calendar, it's like a heart sink because they stress me out, right? Or we just don't click, or there's something about it. And so it's like, or even when you have a kerfuffle at home and then you're worried about like, how is this going to affect me? I have to get on a call. I have to be in a meeting. I have to do a webinar. I have to be live in like 10 minutes. Why now? Why are we having this kerfuffle? Why am I getting triggered now? Why are we arguing about this now? And that's why I'm here to do this class, because I already know you have the best of intentions. You have the best of intentions for creating a peaceful, harmonious, productive environment at work and at home. And there's been a big piece missing in what you knew, and it's not your fault. And I'm here to give you the answers that you've been missing. I'm here to empower you so that you can be empowered in your business, in your family, in your life, No one should have to tolerate being miserable at work because there's a team member causing drama or a client. No one should have to choose between their relationships and their business. And no one should ever give up on their business because the stress of the people in it or the stress from home. And that's why I'm here to chat with you today. And just a little bit about me, why you might be interested in what I'm going to share today, just to give you some reassurance that I know what I'm talking about and I'm here to serve you. I'm Stacey Martino, the founder of relationshipdevelopment.org. My husband Paul and I have invented the relationship development method. And for over 14 years, we've helped hundreds of thousands of people around the world transforming their marriages, parenting, workplace, and families, all by working with one individual student. We've spoken to hundreds of thousands of people, been featured in many great places, seen in media, and with some great partners who have featured us. Our new book, The Missing Piece, is available everywhere from Hay House Publishing. And Paul and I are the how people. Our solutions show people how to get the results they want in any human-to-human interaction or dynamic. And I'll give you an example using marriage, because marriage is the most difficult long-term relationship that anyone will ever have. Right? Lots of us have tons of relationships, and long-term relationships are much more difficult than shorter. And marriage is the absolute toughest long-term relationship any human will ever have. We actually specialize in long-term relationships. We specialize in marriage, but our tools are used in all human-to-human interactions and relationships. But if you look at right now in the US, the divorce rate is about 50% for first marriages, higher for second and beyond. In a 6-year study of our student results, the students in our Relationship U program had just a 1% divorce rate for those 6 years. And that's because our methodology works. Our tools and answers really work in real life. And now we're finally sharing our norm-shattering method with the world in our new book, The Missing Piece. Now, don't order it while I'm teaching today. I mean, you can, but if you stay until the end of this class, I will give you a special link and you can get our book for free. Okay, we'll ship it right to your door. Is that cool with everybody? You'll stay present, stay writing, make sure you have a journal, you have pens, because I came here to teach a lot. And then at the end, I'll definitely share that link. Are we ready to dive in? Everybody good? So I want to make sure everybody's still tracking with me and we're good and we're sharing. Everybody, can you throw a comment in the chat if you're ready to dive in?
Stacey, awesome. Could you still hear me? Because I'm having some tech issues here where the whole screen just went white, but I don't know if you could still hear me.
I can hear you.
Great. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on. My whole entire browser is white. Just you keep going because I want to make sure it doesn't interfere with this. So I'm actually looking at this now from my phone. Okay.
All right. Awesome. All right. Well, we'll dive in. Let us know. Christina, just chime in. Let us know if you need to change anything up.
Oh, great. Okay. As long as you're good, that's great.
Awesome. All right, let's dive in. So what if you could be free of the stress, anxiety, upsets, and loneliness when interacting with other people, right? At home, at work, anywhere. And I know that sounds like a big, bold claim, but this isn't just a theory. This is done. We've been doing this for 15 years now. Helping a lot of people. And I am actually going to go fast because I have such a great class for you today and so much to shove into this hour. But I will stay for questions at the end. So as questions come up, write them down and I'll answer as many as I can at the end today. So I'll think about it this way. Do you want to feel more supported? Or maybe you want to feel more connected, less loneliness. Do you want the confidence to handle any conversation with someone without it erupting into a fight or a conflict? Or maybe you want to magnetize people to you, right? In business and in life. Perhaps you want less kerfuffle and more peaceful cooperation. Imagine the advantage you would have as the best communicator in any room. Would it be helpful to have more positive influence at home and at work? Do you want less drama and more cooperation with your team or coworkers? Any of those resonate with any of you? Go ahead and put a yes in the chat. Let me know if those resonate for you, because that's what this is about. Those results are not just possible, they are proven. And our students enjoy those results daily in marriage, in parenting, and at work. Yes, 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 yes. Relationships impact everything, right? Human to human interactions are your day. So many of us spend our time and investment building our business, getting better at our craft. But at the end of the day, most of us do what we do to make a better life for our kids, for ourselves, to have the life we dreamed of, to experience life fully. Well, when your human to human interactions, when your relationships cause stress, everything is impacted. And I know you have felt that. Like when you have the kerfuffle with your spouse, but you're worried how that's going to translate into how you show up, right? When you're worried about what your kids are overhearing, or if the yelling between you and another person is impacting them. Our interactions with others impact every aspect of our lives, and when we have kids, it also impacts theirs. When I tell you that it's not your fault, and it's not really about the other person you're interacting with either, I mean it. What I'm going to show you today is something that no one has told you before, and you deserve to have these answers. So let's start with an exercise. In the last 3 days, can you think of a kerfuffle, an upset, a stress, or a worry that you had with another person? Like maybe telling your kid to do something again and it not getting done. Maybe something with your spouse, an argument, or an unsupportive comment, or a silence. Maybe a situation with a coworker or a team member that didn't go smoothly, or a family member that you can't have a peaceful conversation with. Can you think of one? Right? Put a yes in the chat if you can at least think of one for this exercise. Just want to make sure that everybody can do this. Yes, 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 yes. Had one this morning. Fantastic. Don't we all? Okay. Now, for that kerfuffle, write this down in your journal. What did they say? Oops, Christina. Now I hear a big echo. Okay.
Is that better? Okay.
That is better, sweetheart. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know what is going on. I think the Mercury must be in retrograde. I don't know.
All right. Awesome. Fantastic. Yeah. If you just mute one device or the other, I'm sure it'll be great to have you in here. Okay. So you got that kerfuffle that you're keeping in mind for this exercise. Write in your journal. What did they say or do that was unwanted for you? Meaning, what was the thing that you wish they had not said or not done? The thing that made you feel upset, angry, frustrated, sad, or whatever that negative, unwanted feeling was for you, right? Have you got it? Like, write it down as we go through the exercise. Excellent. Now, for the same situation, what would you have preferred that they did or said in that instance instead? Like if they had just done this instead, it would have been so much easier, or more of what you needed, or how it should be done. Like perhaps the unwanted was don't talk back like that, and the preferred was just get it done and cooperate, right? Have you got it? Do you know your unwanted and your preferred? Have you quantified that? Okay. Excellent, excellent. All right, so what you've just done is a really important step. You've captured the unwanted and you've clarified the preferred. Make sense so far? Okay, I'm guessing that if I asked you to sit down and list out your unwanted preferred combinations with everyday things for like your spouse, your kids, coworkers, family members, clients, you can probably create a list. Yes, like you have your awareness of that. And I'm guessing you've tried, right? You've tried to get them to do what needs to be done or say or do things in a better way. Yes. And you've tried to get them to do more preferred and less unwanted. Yes. Does that make sense for everybody? You can drop a yes in the comment if you feel like you have tried. You've tried asking, encouraging, making little jokes, hoping they would take the hint. You've tried pleasing, compromising, and all the things. Yes. And when that didn't work, you've tried other ways, like when you need your kids to behave in the store and you just promise them something they want if they just behave now, right? Or when you use consequences if our kids don't do what needs to be done. But that stuff doesn't always work, or eventually it stops working as they tune out. And it's the same with the spouse, the coworkers, and others. Unfortunately, that often leaves you feeling bad about yourself, like you're failing as a mom, as a wife, as a human, feeling sad, stuck, frustrated, alone, unsupported, and exhausted. But I'm here to tell you it is not your fault. You are not at fault, and there's nothing wrong with you. For thousands of years, humans have interacted with each other in a specific way that has left us with this result. And this old way of human interaction does not work in today's world. Unlike what everyone else is telling you, I'm here to show you that there's nothing wrong with you, there's nothing wrong with them, and there's nothing wrong with you, the two of you specifically together. And I know you might be thinking to yourself right now, oh, Stacey, but you don't know my partner, right? Or you don't know my employee, or you don't know this client, or you don't know my family member. Like Paul and I have worked with thousands and thousands of students from all over the world for over 15 years now. We have navigated pretty much every situation you can imagine and many you could never imagine. In all that time, we have never been stumped with a relationship challenge that our methodology and tools couldn't solve. You already saw our effectiveness rate with our 1% divorce rate, while everyone else is out there telling people, don't put up with that or just leave. I'm telling you, you are not the problem. They are not the problem. And the two of you together is not the problem. The problem is there has been a huge missing piece in what we do about human relationships. I'm going to show you the dynamic of how human interaction really does work and the solution to get the results that you want. And I'll show you how this works. Okay, awesome. Anyone know this guy? Drop it in the chat. Anyone know this guy? Dog lovers out there, I know you know him, right? You know the dog whisperer, Cesar Millan. I love Cesar. And when I was in my 20s, oh my gosh, I had purchased my first house and realized my dream of getting a dog. There she is in Paul's lap. That's my husband. My God, look at all that hair. That's 30 years ago. You can tell it was the 90s, right? Look at my CD stack behind that and the phone that's almost as big as the dog. I love this puppy with my whole heart. I was all in. And within just a few short months, that little puppy turned into this monster. And she was dragging me around the neighborhood. So I watched Cesar all day and all night, right? Long story short, I learned that my dog wasn't the one who needed the training. I did. Right? I'm a very excitable and hyper person, and Putty, my dog, was getting hyper and pulling me all over the neighborhood in reaction to my energy, right? As Cesar teaches us, I had to change my energy to calm, confident, and then she shifted to calm and responsive, right? And this is a great example of what we call a closed loop in relationship. See, relationship is a closed loop. When I put my hyper and excited energy into the loop, the boomerang back was a wild and crazy dog pulling me all over. When I put my calm and confident energy into the loop, the boomerang back was a calm and responsive dog. It's actually a predictable pattern with a predictable outcome. See, relationship is a closed loop between two individuals. The human to human dynamic is always a closed loop. One person puts a trigger into the loop and the other sends a boomerang back out of the loop. Now, there are predictable patterns with predictable outcomes. For example, if someone rolls their eyes at you, that's a trigger. You have a reaction, boomerang. Whereas if someone nods and smiles at you while you're talking, trigger, you have a reaction, boomerang. Is it the same reaction that you have towards the eye roll as you have when someone nods and smiles? No. And that's a predictable pattern with a predictable outcome. So what you just experienced is that when you change what you put into the loop, you change what comes out. Everybody tracking with me so far? You've got that concept. You've experienced it. You can understand it. You can feel it, right? So I'll give you an example. In fact, let's do this example. Have you been in this situation where someone asks you to do something for them that you don't really want to do, but you end up saying yes because maybe it'll just be easier, or you're trying to be nice, or you feel like you should do the right thing, or you just say yes to get them off your back and stop asking, right? You've been in this situation before where someone wants something from you. You don't really want to do it, but you wind up saying yes anyway, right? So you agree to do something you don't want to do just to make the other person happy or get them to drop it. And I'm guessing if you've had this experience, then you have been in the unpleasant aftermath of that, where you bend over backwards to say yes, and it still wasn't enough, right? They still weren't happy, right? You've been here where you only said yes to make them happy and avoid a kerfuffle. And in the end, it was still a fight, or they were still unhappy, right? You've had this experience. Go ahead and drop a yes in the chat if you've had that experience. And in that moment, think about it. When you've had that experience, what did you feel? Resentment, right? Because by definition, you said yes to something you didn't really want to say yes to just to make them happy, and they weren't happy. So you feel resentful, right? Resentment. And that is a predictable pattern. This is a closed loop. When you put pleasing into the loop, that's the trigger. Resentment is the boomerang that comes back to you. It's a predictable pattern with a predictable outcome. It's just that for most people, the loop has been invisible up until now. Here's what I want you to get. When the loop remains invisible, you keep putting pleasing into the loop with people, thinking it's going to make things better, and then you're likely blindsided that it didn't work, and then feel resentful. But because the loop was invisible, you keep pleasing. You keep putting pleasing into the loop and getting the same outcome. As long as that loop remains invisible to you, you're going to keep getting unpleasantly surprised by the boomerang. But once you see this loop, right, this trigger boomerang combination, you can make the choice to stop putting pleasing into the loop so you can stop the unwanted boomerang that comes back. Here's the beauty. Back when, like, for example, when I was young and got my dog Putty, these loops were all invisible to me. So it looked to me like she was just being a crazy wild dog. No matter how much I yelled, bribed her with treats, she was wild. When the loops are invisible to you, all you experience is the boomerang. And that's what you feel. So when you can't see the loop, then it looks like the actions just came out of nowhere, right? She rolled her eyes at me. He was being a jerk for no reason. These loops have been invisible to you and everyone else. So it looks like these boomerangs are just coming out of nowhere. But if you rewind the tape, I can show you where you unknowingly poke the bear. I can give you the predictable pattern loop so that you know the trigger boomerang combination before you head into the solution. Why is this powerful? Let me ask you, if I gave you these two loops where trigger A creates an unwanted boomerang A and trigger B creates a wanted boomerang B, which trigger would you put into the loop, A or B? B, right? Of course, you're going to put B into the loop because that's the boomerang that you want. When you finally get visibility into these loops, you have the power to pre-select the reaction you want by putting the coordinating trigger into the loop. And you have the power to stop the boomerangs you don't want by not putting those triggers unknowingly into the loops. See, here's the principle. All relationships are a closed loop. And when you change what you put in, you change what you get out. Okay, here's the other principle. I know this is a lot to take in, but people are not acting towards you. They are reacting to you. There's a difference. This is why Paul and I say there's nothing wrong with you or with them or the two of you together. I know you're showing up with the best of intentions. I know you're saying and doing what you feel is the right thing to say or do. I know you are. There's been a huge piece missing in what we knew about human interactions. And over 20 years ago, I made a giant, completely accidental discovery that showed me this missing piece. At first, I was just working with dozens of students, right? But when it became hundreds of students and then thousands and thousands of students, I began to see the patterns over and over and over again. We have been handed an old and broken relationship dynamic from old generations. And in today's world, this old dynamic is breaking down relationships, ending marriages, breaking rapport, and increasing kerfuffles. First, let me explain the old broken relationship paradigm that you see everywhere. Paul and I call this demand relationship. Demand relationship is what we default to when we don't see the loops. Demand relationship, for example, is when you say to your partner, I'm not really happy with this, you need to change that. Or when you say to someone, don't use that tone with me, I don't like that tone. Demand relationship is when you tell other people what they need to do to change to make you happy. Now, demand relationship is also the flip. When we do things we do not want to do just to make someone else happy or try to avoid something unpleasant. So the demand relationship paradigm is where we use tactics like pleasing, compromise, blame, punishing, withholding, guilt, shame, nagging, pushing, manipulation to try to get others to do what we need done or change what they do or say so that we can be calm, comfortable, or happy. Now look at the demand relationship tactics on the red side of our chart, or the things that I just listed out. Do those tactics lead to a supportive, loving, and happy outcome for you and the other person? Think about it this way. Do you love it when people use those tactics with you? Do you love them more for blaming you, shaming you, judging you, dominating you? No, of course not. And yet, even with the best of intentions, we don't even realize we are using these tactics in our human-to-human relationships and interactions, because demand relationship is all that's been modeled to us for most of our lives. Now, there is another way to do human-to-human interactions. Paul and I created relationship development to empower our students to interact in a way that builds up relationships in today's world. Relationship development allows you to be genuinely happy yourself and have the skill sets to be happy with the other people you are in relationship with, so that you have the skills to relate in a way that builds up your relationships instead of breaking them down. So let's look at the relationship development side of our chart. In our chart, you can see the relationship development alternative to each of the demand relationship tactics, right? Look at some of those skill sets on the relationship development side of the chart. When people interact with you with compassion, heartfelt understanding, appreciation, does that build up your relationship with them or break it down? It builds it up, right? When someone takes personal responsibility, builds rapport with you, and focuses on unity, does that build up your relationship with them or break it down? It builds it up. Here's the principle. Successful relationship is a skill set, and it can be learned. It has nothing to do with being lucky, finding the right person, picking the right person who has the right personality for you, or worrying that maybe this person is just too different. It's not about you or the other person. Relationship is a skill set. And in my experience, most people want to show up from relationship development in their relationships, in their human-to-human interactions, at work and in life and at home. They want to have the skills to show up with heartfelt understanding and build rapport and create influence. They want to have compassion for others and create unity in our family, in our workplace, to inspire and empower others to be their best selves. Most people have the positive intention of showing up this way. But when they run to their end of their skill set for how to show up this way in real life moments, they slide back into old demand relationship tactics that have been handed down to us. The problem with the old way is, if you look at that demand relationship side, this is not love. Those tactics on the red side of the chart they don't lead to a loving, connected, supported, trusting, thriving relationship. And yet, how many times are we showing up in our relationships that are supposed to be about love, supposed to be about connection, from the red side, right? And that is not love. That's why we always say you are either building up or breaking down your relationships in the little moments of your day, depending on which side of the chart you're showing up on. Here's the closed loop. When you put demand relationship into the loop, the boomerang is that it breaks down the relationship. But when you put relationship development into the loop, the boomerang back is it builds up the relationship. How relationships break down is not an accident or a mystery anymore. And how to transform them and build them up is no longer outside of your reach. This is your empowerment. You can change what you put into the loop and change the boomerang that comes back to you. The world is not the same as it was 100 years ago or even 50 years ago. When I was a kid, let's just say, kids weren't really treated all that great, and nobody thought there was anything wrong with that. Thank God today we have evolved so much. Today we love our kids so much, we would sacrifice anything for them, and we do. And we desperately want to have strong relationships with each of them so that they come and talk to us about what's going on in their lives, right? When they're young and when they're older. Today, we only want to stay in relationships where we are loved, we're supported, we're respected, and we're valued. And yet, we are unknowingly using old broken tactics from an old time that is long gone. Unlike long ago, today, both people in each relationship are free and equal. And people who feel free and equal do not stay in relationships where demand relationship is all that's going on. They don't stay in jobs where people use these tactics. They don't stay in marriages where people use these tactics. And it's the same in parenting. If all that's been done as your child grows up is demand parenting, then as soon as that child is bigger than you, financially independent, or no longer needs to live in your house, they're out of there. You probably know that because maybe that was your story when you were growing up. And when they leave, you don't have a relationship with them. All you have is a loss of control. See, you were not the problem. They are not the problem. The two of you together were not the problem. It's demand relationship going into the loop that has been breaking down your relationships and causing unwanted kerfuffles in your human-to-human interactions. This is the most important thing you can ever learn to change your experience of life and your interactions with others, is when you put demand relationship in, it breaks down. When you put relationship development into the loop, it builds up. And you can choose, right? When it comes to your marriage, your parenting, your work relationships, your clients, which one do you want? The great news is we've figured out the solution and spent the last 15 years building our relationship development method and hundreds of these tools for using these skill sets in real life moments. They've been used and proven by thousands of students already. And as I just showed you, relationship is a skill set and it can be learned. And mind bender, it only takes one person to get the results you want in any interaction. And I know this is where Paul and I get asked this question all the time, probably more than any other question. How can it possibly take one person to transform any relationship? Everything in our method is only designed for one person. We don't do any couples or person-to-person work. But as difficult as it might be to accept that it only takes one person, the truth is you already know that it only takes one person to change things. Think about it. If you want your kids' behavior to improve and you pick up a parenting book to learn something new, you don't sit your 3-year-old down and say, listen, you better read this book because your behavior stinks, kiddo. No, you read the book and it says, hey, the next time try this instead of that with your child. You do it and your kid's behavior changes. And it's actually the same dynamic in any work relationship, in marriage, relationships with coworkers, boss, family members, clients, team members, and others. It's just that no one gave you the book of answers until now. That's why I always say you don't need anyone else's permission or participation. Everything in our method is designed for you. You don't need to convince anyone else to do this with you to get the results that you want. Remember that I told you that it wasn't you or them or the two of you together? This is what I was talking about. The reason relationships are failing at epic rates is because without the skill set of relationship development, we were unknowingly perpetuating old broken tactics of demand relationship in the little moments of our day, unknowingly breaking down our relationships as the resentments, pains, and distance stack up over the years until someone gives up. Right? But there is a solution. Paul and I have solved this. We have cracked the code on human relationships, giving you the how for how to be happy yourself, genuinely happy yourself, and also be happy with others that you are in relationship with. You can have both, right? You can have peace, harmony, support, connection, influence, trust, cooperation, and love without the drama, the upsets, the loneliness, the nagging, the begging, the pleasing, the compromise, and without needing anyone else's permission or participation. So there are 4 core things that are the solution to give you the piece that you've been missing, okay? The first one is that you need the visibility into the predictable pattern loops so that you know the trigger and boomerang combinations, and the skill sets to stop doing demand relationship and do relationship development instead. So that's 1 and 2, right? 1 is you need to see a list of all the loops of the triggers and the boomerangs. 2 is you need the skill sets to stop putting demand relationship in and to do relationship development instead. 3 is you need the bridges that solve masculine and feminine wiring differences. We don't have time necessarily to get into all, I wish we did in this class, but masculine and feminine beings are wired completely differently. And in our experience, about half of all kerfuffles that every couple has, or every work pair has, or every family member pair has, moms and sons, fathers and daughters too, are actually caused by masculine and feminine wiring differences. And everyone is experiencing unnecessary upsets resulting from those differences. You need the bridges that we've built to solve those kerfuffles that the differences cause. And number 4 is the solutions to solve the bricks in the wall that have built up between you over time, right? Every time something remains unsolved, it's another brick that we're putting in the wall in between us and the other person in a long-term relationship. Now, when you have these 4 things, the loops, the skill set to stop the demand relationship and do relationship development, the bridges for the masculine and feminine difference, and solving the bricks in the wall, you have so much power with those 4 things. You can create the life experience you want in any human interaction, whether it's at home, at work, in life, whatever situation you enter, you have the skill sets to get the outcome you want. And now it's your turn, right? You can learn the skill set and get the results you want in any aspect of your life. And I'm going to show you how. And it's just 2 steps. 2 steps to do that. Step 1, read our book, The Missing Piece, right? You can buy our book anywhere, but we would love to give it to you for free. I'm going to give you a special link in a minute where you can grab your copy. At Relationship Development, it's our mission to get all these solutions that we have built into the hands of every human who wants them. We are a mission-driven organization, and we believe you deserve these answers. So you have the opportunity to break the chains of demand relationship for your family's legacy, not just for you, but as a role model to your kids as well. Our book, The Missing Piece, is actually the only book in the history of books to promise a 1-person relationship method. And you can see here, Annie Grace, best-selling author, said, I'm buying this book for everyone I know, not joking. Our solution is for family members, spouse, work, clients, team members, kids, all relationships. So think of what relationship is triggering you the most right now, causing you the most worry or the most stress, because this solution is about human-to-human interactions, right? At a time when you can't go 10 minutes without seeing someone getting triggered or disagreement causing division, the missing piece provides needed solutions to empower the reader to navigate real life situations harmoniously, regardless of what they are currently facing. Actually, this is where Christina and I met. Our mentor, Russell Brunson, wrote, my marriage and my relationships were good, but I had spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on personal development, searching for a way to make them great. It wasn't until I found Stacey and Paul that I discovered this missing piece that changed my marriage, my relationship with my kids, and the people I work with every day. I'll be forever grateful that I invested my time to learn their unique methodology on relationship success. And you can get your copy of our book free. It's our honor and joy to gift this to you. All we ask is that you cover the shipping cost and we'll ship it right to your door, but we've already purchased the books from Hay House. Yes, we have to purchase our own books. We're not self-published. So we purchased the books and we have them in the warehouse ready to ship out. And if you've gotten any value from the ahas or today's class, please get a copy of our book. We pack the book full of eye-opening solutions that you haven't seen anywhere else. So whatever you do, when I give you the link, make sure you get a book. And as I said, though, it's a two-step solution. So step one is get the book, which we're happy to give to you for free. Step two is to come to the event. Our book opens your eyes and gives you visibility into the piece that has been missing all this time. Our event, Relationship Breakthrough Retreat, is how you live this in your life each day. So our event, Relationship Breakthrough Retreat, is a 3-day live stream online event. It is the fastest way to get this into your life so that you can start getting results now. If you feel like I needed to be able to apply this yesterday, right? Then RBR is built to give you that. Immersion is really the only way to do that, immersing yourself in the experience of it. And in our event, you get to see Paul and I demonstrate and role play it. We give you the step-by-step solutions and we go into the exactly how, right? At a depth that we can't do in the book. And the book and the event are completely different solutions. So the tools and solutions that we can put in the book, and we stuffed it, it's over 300 pages. We still couldn't put everything that we have in our 3 days. And all of our students that are living the results of having done this work with us, they came to RBR first. They started with that. Read the book, come to RBR. This is how we get results. Thousands of students have come to our RBR event over the year. It's a life-changing event, 3 days, and things will never be the same again because you're going to get the skills so you can apply this in your growing of your business, getting support from your spouse, creating harmony in your home. You know, if you think about it, we spend so much time and investment learning the skills for our business, which is great. But without the relationships we're doing it for, it becomes nothing. Paul and I have delivered over 90 multi-day events in the last 15 years of serving our students. We've been doing our RBR event since 2014. That's over 10 years. This event is perfected minute by minute to give you exactly what you need. Paul and I are the only two speakers at all of our events, and this is a results event. It's about delivery, minute by minute, hour by hour, breakthroughs every hour, sometimes every minute. And now we host it online. So there's no travel, no overnight stays, no hassle. You can attend the entire 3-day event from the comfort of your laptop. So here it is. Remember I said you need 4 pieces to get the solution? Day 1 at RBR is getting the predictable pattern loops and the skill set to stop the demand relationship and start doing relationship development. Day 2 is an entire day of the masculine and feminine bridges for those differences the whole day. And day 3 is alignment day. It's about solving the bricks in the wall between you and others to build rapport, increase your influence, and get to the win-win in any relationship. So step 1 is read the book, which is why we're gifting it to you. Step 2 is to get our Relationship Breakthrough Retreat event And before you go getting an event ticket on our website, hang on, because I have a crazy special deal for you today. So just give me a minute to show it to you. So yes, it's 3 days. And I know for you, like, who has 3 days? No one, but hear me out. This is 3 days of your time invested so that the other 362 days are very different. Right? Instead of being drained because all of your time and energy is going into upsets and fighting and frustrations with your team members, your clients, your kids, your spouse, and more, you're taking 3 days to put a little bit of time into the solution to turn the other 362 days into time spent in peace and harmony and connection and support. And RBR is a fun, high energy, fascinating immersion experience. You will be seeing things and hearing solutions that you have never heard before in a live Zoom where all the students are live in there. The chat is live. Their cameras on. They're connecting and enjoying. You'll be live there. And this was one student who posted, it was only day 2 of our event. The purple tabs in her journal are the tools we have been given so far, she shared. The student said, I got a big journal for RBR, and after taking 1 day of notes, she's like, at this point, I'm going to run out of space, right? Everyone needs to read the Missing Piece book. That's where everyone needs to start. And that gives you the visibility that you have been missing. And our RBR event is the fastest way to apply it in your life and see results. So what's inside our book is completely different content than we teach at the RBR. It's not a repeat. They're actually like Lego blocks meant to go together. They click together for the student journey. And as you can see, RBR is packed with value. Thousands of people have come through our event over the last 10 years. And tickets to Relationship Breakthrough Retreat are regularly $997. You can go to relationshipbreakthroughretreat.com right now and see that tickets are available for $997 each. But you do not need to get your ticket there at $997 because for everyone here, we have created something really crazy. We haven't done this before ever, but in a minute, I'm going to show you how you can get a ticket to the entire 3 days for just $297. It's $700 off. Not just 1 day, the whole 3 days. We're going to send you our book for free and then give you $700 off of your tickets to RBR. I know it's crazy, but we are a mission-driven organization. And so as we grow and expand with our book, it's our mission, it's our responsibility to help as many humans as possible get these solutions. So here's how you get it. I'm going to show you what the pages look like and how to get the deal. And then I'm going to give you a link for how to get it. So here's what the first page looks like. Once I give you the link, you're going to see, you'll go to this page, and this is how you get your free copy of our book, The Missing Piece. All we ask is that you cover the shipping. It's $9.95 if you're US, and it's, I think, $19.95 all over the rest of the world, and we'll ship it right out, a free paper copy. I'm sure I have one right here. A free, like, full paper copy of the entire book. We will ship it out to you and send it to you. That's on page 1. Now, there are also some goodies in there if you want to do, after you pay for the shipping for your free book, there's some huge discount items you can put in your cart if it speaks to you. The first step is the book. So for sure, get the book. When you add the book to your cart, you can actually add our masculine and feminine masterclass. Now, it's different masculine and feminine bridges than we cover in either the book or the event. They're all meant to go together. It's a lot, we have content in different places. We fit some of it into the book. We put more of it into the event, and there's still more in this class. This class used to be part of a course that was $997, but we're giving it away now for book readers for just $11. So if you want to add it to your cart when you get your free book, you can. Yeah, if you don't, that's totally fine. But while the book takes a few days to get to you, you can have instant access to, I forget how many masculine and feminine different bridges there are in that class for $11. I think it might be 6 or 7 or 8. But you can get instant access to that today for just $11 if you want to throw that in your cart. And then the next page, so after you get your book shipping at least, The next page is a course bundle. It's a $97 bundle, and it's on forgiveness and conversations. There are two major topics that I could not fit into the book. The book is over 300 pages. I was already way over my word count with Hay House, and I could not jam 2 more chapters in. But we have a proven step system for forgiveness, for things that you just haven't been able to get past, and for having conversations that you without fighting in any situation. And we put those courses together to be able to give you a course bundle. The forgiveness course comes with a workbook. It's like 50 pages or something of like step-by-step actioning that you can take. If you want to throw that in your cart, you can for just $97. It's also instant access. Or you click yes or no on that page. Either one takes you to the next page, which is the most important, which is the event page. This event is just for you. You don't need anyone else's permission. You don't need anyone else to participate in this with you in order for you to get the results you want in your business, in your marriage, with team members, clients, even with family members. You're not actually going to do this for your relationship. It's for your skill set. It's for you because you're experiencing the result of your skill set or lack thereof, right? When you get the ability to learn these skills and use them, you have these answers for life. So there's no option not to get the ability to navigate any human-to-human interaction without fighting upsets and stress. This is how the quality of your life changes when you trust yourself to know how to navigate whatever comes at you next and still be happy, harmonious, connected, and supported. So on that event page, just click the yes button to add the RBR ticket to your cart for just $297. You will not see this again anywhere. And we don't just say that. You can go to relationshipbreakthroughretreat.com right now and see that tickets are $997. They sell for $997 there every day and has been for over 10 years. But this is your opportunity to get $700 off your ticket for just $297 if that speaks to you. Okay, here's the link. And the team can drop it in the chat for you. Also, if you want, here's the link to get the free book. Go to missingpiecebook.com/Christina, and you can get a free copy of our book shipped right to your door. Whether or not you grab your RBR ticket with this huge deal, please be sure to get your book, get it shipped to your door. We deeply hope that you'll also grab this amazing opportunity to come to our online RBR event at this huge discount. But what I want you to really know is that relationship is a skill set. It can be learned. It only takes one person to learn that skill set to create any change you want to make in human-to-human interactions. And no one should be blindsided by upsets, drama, hurts, and conflicts ever again. Not you, not your kids. And when you do this for yourself, you get the skill sets that will bring peace and harmony to your business, to your home, but you'll be empowering your children too, because they will learn by watching you, just like they're learning by watching you now. When you handle whatever life throws at you with calm, peace, and happiness, they will model what you're doing, interacting, and they'll get those results too, right? So they won't need me when they're 40 to unravel all their crap. So I really encourage you to get your free copy at missingpiece.com/Christina. And I'm happy to stay and answer questions too. If you've had questions that came up while you were listening. Christina, I'm not sure if you are visually with us or just on audio.
I'm just on audio, and because I can't see, I'm looking at my phone because I don't know what happened. My Chrome went completely white. It's very bizarre. But yes, I'm still here. This was amazing, Stacey. Loved it so much.
Awesome. Oh, I'm so glad, sweetie. And if there are any questions, I don't know if there were questions coming in the comments or if people want to post questions now, I am more than happy to answer questions, or if questions came up for you, Christina.
Can you see the questions in the chat? Because I can't see the screen and StreamYard, so there's probably...
Yeah, no problem.
Can you see it? Or I don't...
I can see the comments. I don't see any questions right now, but let me see if my team has gathered any questions that came up along the way. But since I did tell you to hold your questions too, you can post them in the chat. Okay. I I don't see any questions that were posted in the chat that we missed. Here we go. Maureen has a question. How about when you deal with a person that everyone has a problem with on a regular daily basis? Yeah, no question. That's definitely very common. And everybody's doing demand relationship. Like I so get the desire to want to blame the person. I get it. Like that's everywhere. That has been everywhere for so long, right? When you don't see the loop of what's going in, the boomerang looks like it comes out of nowhere. And then you go and tell your story to everybody, and it's so easy to get people to take your side. You're like, hey, nothing was going on, and out of nowhere, they rolled their eyes at me, or they interrupted me, or they belittled me, or they used a tone that was disrespectful, or whatever. And people are like, hey, you don't deserve that. Like when you tell your story, and we have the skills and tools to solve all this, your story is already coming through your blueprint, your wiring, your perspective, your lenses, how you see the world. And what's missing is how the other person is wired, how they're processing. It's beyond masculine and feminine differences, although I'll use that as an example. Masculine and feminine beings even use the same vocabulary words that mean different things, right? So regardless, for sure, if you want to, write it off. If that's what you want to do, blame that person, make them the villain in your story, but you have not learned the skill set to navigate life with that person and the millions of other people that are wired like them too. And you are missing a huge piece in the dynamic. So yes, if you gave me a specific example of this is what happened, this is what I wanted to see happen, but this is what happened instead, I can show you the closed loop of the triggers in the boomerang and how to shift that. Like we do that all day long. So you can blame the person. That's always your choice. That's the beauty of relationship development, is everything is your choice. If you want to keep doing demand relationship, which blame is demand relationship, that's the oldest relationship tactic. If you go back 50 years ago, 100 years ago, thousands of years ago, someone's unhappy, they blame someone, they make them change. Well, today everybody is free. And when you blame someone, when you point the finger and say, this is your fault, you're the problem, do they really change? No. When you blame someone, so I'll give you another closed loop. When you put blame into the loop as the trigger, the boomerang that comes back is defensiveness. It wasn't like that 50 years ago, right? Because 50 years ago, 100 years ago, one person was had leverage over another. Not everybody was free. There was a person who was in charge and people who weren't. Think of the workplace, right? And you get blamed for something at work as a staffer, and you like, oh my gosh, let me scramble, let me change. I don't want to lose my job, because there's leverage over you. That's how human interactions used to be in families. It's not that way anymore. Today, people are empowered and free. When you blame someone, the boomerang that comes back to you is their defensiveness. They're like, don't blame me. You're the one who's screwed up, right? It doesn't work anymore. Blaming people, hoping someone's going to be like, oh yeah, no, wait, I'm so sorry you got me. Thank you so much for showing me the light. I'm so glad I have you to tell me how the world works. Like, obviously, nobody does that anymore, right? You blame someone and they push right back. And now it's a tug of war. You grab the rope, they grab the rope, and now we're arguing. The relationship is going down the toilet. You're suffering and everybody else is suffering. So when you learn how to stop blaming, you take personal responsibility. That's the solution, right? Instead of putting blame into the loop, we put personal responsibility. Now, personal responsibility, people have had a misconception of for thousands of years, because somewhere along the way in demand relationship, personal responsibility got equated with fault. Like if you take personal responsibility, it's like you're saying it's your fault. Those two are not the same thing. You have to unhinge them in your mind, because that's old broken relationship thinking. Personal responsibility means this wasn't my fault at all, but I'm going to take personal responsibility to be the leader that leads us out of this crap. Right? So instead of blaming them, I'm going to take personal responsibility. I'm going to get the skill sets to understand how they're wired. What do they need? What's going on with them? And I'm going to lead with the skill sets to bring more harmony and peace to the situation and lead us out of there, for myself, for them if they want it, for anyone else who's involved. And so that is the opportunity that's in front of you, is to get the skill sets for that. Okay, any other questions coming in? I'm going to scroll up. What happens if the argument has happened and the person stops talking to you? How do you go about developing the relationship again? Such a great question, Michaela. I'm going to take a wild guess and say that the person who stopped talking is masculine core, because it's one of the most common masculine feminine differences, is that feminine beings, a lot of feminine beings use talking to solve things. And when the masculine gets triggered, they very often go into silence. So masculine core energy, this is another great bridge for you, is very different than feminine core. Neither one is better or worse. We're just wired differently. And when the masculine doesn't actually have a lot of emotional swings that the feminine naturally has, and both are wonderful. But when the masculine gets triggered, think of it like a gong. You ever see those gongs where you like swing the mallet and the gong like vibrates? The masculine vibrates that way. It usually takes a lot for the most masculine beings to get triggered. Not all, not everybody's the same. But when the masculine does get triggered, it's like a gong that rings out, and it keeps ringing and it keeps vibrating. It keeps vibrating. And in the masculine wiring, one of the ways organically, with training and skills, it can be different, but one of the ways organically that the masculine stops that ringing, that vibrating of anger that goes through them, is through silence. Because the masculine being is actually an internal autonomous processor. They process in silence. The feminine being is an external connective processor. It's a miracle we get along ever. But feminine beings can process what they're thinking externally and connectively, right? So if you're a feminine core being, like, think of it as like you just want to talk it out with someone, which is literally what you're trying to do, right? Is I just need to talk this out. And if someone won't talk, it's like you're being squelched. Like, I can't process this if I can't talk it out, right? So maybe you find another feminine being who's like, hey, what's going on with you? Like, dump it, give it to me. Tell me what's up. And we naturally do that for each other. The masculine isn't wired that way. So unknowingly, this creates a massive kerfuffle, because the masculine needs to go inside. By the way, when he is stopped from processing internally, autonomously and silently, it's just as painful for him as when you're stopped from talking, because he can't think without the silence. So he's getting agitated and stressed because he can't process it any other way. He can't process and talk, most masculine beings, at the same time. It's a skill set. We can all develop it, but organic wiring without training, that's what happens. So you're both struggling because of how you're wired. No one's wrong. No one's better than the other. It's just a wiring difference, but it causes a huge kerfuffle. And so what I always say is, first of all, understand the being that you're with and how they're wired. Just like you want to be understood for how you're wired, this is why we learn how our partner's wired, how each of our kids are wired differently, right? Just like you have that one kid who can't handle scratchy fabrics, and you have that one kid who needs like a ton of things to do, and that one kid who like runs out of words by a certain point in the day. Like, all humans are wired differently. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. No one's better or worse than anybody else. But if we ignore these wirings, we have tremendous kerfuffles when we expect everything that someone does or says to be the same as if we would do it or say it, to mean the same thing. And it doesn't mean the same thing to them. So we have skills and tools you'll get in both the book and in the event that actually solve and give you the step-by-step. Actually, we cover the exactly how for what to do when a person has stopped talking, masculine or feminine, and how to actually solve a brick in the wall that opens the door for that conversation, and the conversation frameworks for doing that. So for sure, that's in there too. Another question, would also like a copy of a PDF. We can't give the PDF out. We don't own it. The book is published by Hay House. It's a Hay House book. We're not self-published. And Hay House owns the ebook and the audiobook. So We bought these print copies. They're in a warehouse ready to go out for you. We can't do the same thing with the ebook or the audiobook. It just doesn't work that way when you have a publisher, but you can get it anywhere if you want. But it's a very visual book. So there's our chart is in here. For those of you, I know some of you were saying you couldn't see the chart. Sometimes it's tough when you're sharing a screen. The chart is in here. The loops are in here. It's a very visual book. So I encourage you to get a print copy to go with it. Another question, what if that person gets physical? This is absolutely not for physical fights. This is not a solution for violence at all. You'll read in the very beginning of the book that this is not a solution for physical violence. This is not a solution for substance and alcohol abuse. This is not a solution for 3 or more people in a relationship. It's not a solution for everything. It's a skill set based method. Violence is not a relationship issue. Violence is a violence issue and needs a solution for violence. We are not solution for violence people. We are relationship skill set method people. So that's a huge difference. Awesome. Again, oh my goodness. Okay. Awesome. Fantastic. So I really encourage you to get the solutions that are in the book and the event. Christina, did you want to chime in with anything else?
Oh, I just want to thank you. I'm so sorry about this crazy thing with I've never had my Google do this before, my Chrome. But thank you so much, Stacey. This has been amazing. I mean, what you're sharing with us, it's just nobody teaches you this. Like it's just nowhere. I mean, until I met you and read the book, I was just shocked how much control we really do have within ourselves, that we don't have to get other people to change, and we have can improve our relationships dramatically by following what you and Paul share in this amazing book. And it's funny too. Let me tell you, Stacey is quite a character. And wait till you get to the story when she throws a sub at somebody. I'm talking like a sub you eat. And I love that
Christina
story.
and I are both from Jersey. So
because we're Jersey. I mean, I grew up in New York, live in Jersey. Stacey's from Jersey. I mean, this is, I could relate. It's very amusing. The book is really fun to read because it's not like, these boring, like, oh gosh, those books you read and it's like all stats and this and that. Like you have real stories in there. And I love that because it's very easy to just continue and engaging. So you guys are going to love it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me here today, Christina. I love it. I love being with everybody. If there's anything we can do for you, you can visit us at relationshipdevelopment.org and for sure get your book at missingpiecebook.com/Christina.
Thank you so much, Stacey. Thank you everybody for being here. So now I have no idea how to end this because I can't see the screen. I'm going to try from my phone.
Do this.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, because we're live too. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to
for sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yay.
Everybody go grab the book. Take care.